Dear friends, all of us are familiar with CSR, corporate social responsibility. For the students, we call it as college social responsibility. And now, in the film industry, we term it as cinema social responsibility. We are very happy to see some of the filmmakers making film at the grassroots level. One such film is Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim is a film directed by Gnanavel. It's a story about a tribal woman who seeks justice with the help of a renowned lawyer, Chandru, who is also a very socially responsible person, to seek justice for her husband who is punished very badly by the cops. We can also look at the whole film in a very different way. This can be also called as a film of a lawyer, an advocate who is socially responsible person who helps a tribal woman to seek justice with lots of difficulties around. But I would even call it as a film. The protagonist of this film is this woman, the tribal woman, played by Lijo Mol Jose. The film is titled Jai Bhim. The title itself is a killer title. The moment we hear this word, the person who comes to our mind is Dr. Ambedkar. And incidentally in the film, in the 37th minute, we hear his voice and with this powerful speech. The film is produced by 2D Entertainment, owned by Jyotika and Suriya, and we have actors like Surya, Manikandan, Prakash Raj, Lijo Mol Jose, and very little one, Joshika is there, and you should see the way she speaks in the interview. She is a prodigy. With so many other familiar faces, they have done an amazing job. The film begins with the release of the prisoners, and false cases are framed against people from the lower caste. And it is a very daring opening, and that reminds us well begun is half done. The plot revolves around Raja Kannu, a person from Irula tribe who goes to help someone in trouble, and finally he gets into trouble, and the whole story revolves around this incident. Advocate Chandru, played by Surya, helps the wife of Raja Kannu, the tribal woman, using the writ of habeas corpus, and this law is there in existence from 13th century onwards, and the film also teaches us a bit on law, on the system of justice, and it's a bit of a lesson. T.J. Gnanavel, known for his writing in films like Dhoni, has crafted or written very powerful dialogue. They are not forced into the characters, rather when the characters speak, they are very powerful, they are bold, beautiful, strong. And we also have wonderful cinematography, and of course the music of Sean Roldan is soul-filling. The form of the film is handled pretty well with certain amount of maturity, and we also see metaphors, symbols, imageries, and the props also make us believe that it's somewhere closer to the reality. To give you certain examples of the symbols and metaphors, they show owl, a bird. In certain cultures it denotes a messenger of death, so we see the connection. And we also see the bike Rajdut, which was a dream bike of people in yesteryears, like RX 100, which came a little later, and BPL TV with Sun TV logo, and Sun TV was something launched in 92, film is backdrop 1995, and we also see the imageries of a snake, a statue of Buddha, and we have Periyar at the background. All these add flavor and meaning to this film and make it a kind of something closer to the reality. By the end of the film, we all know this is a true story based on lawyer Chandru, who went on to become Justice Chandru, and in one of the interviews he himself says to see cinematic Chandru, he has done much better than the real Chandru himself. That was a compliment that was given to actor Surya, who has not just acted in the film, he was lived that particular character, and that anger and being very natural, and nothing was exaggerated in his acting. So it adds flavor, it adds a realistic tonality to the film. Some are of the opinion that the film is an exaggeration in terms of showing the violence of the cops, or in terms of showing the pain of the downtrodden people. Yes, it's an exaggeration for the people who have not gone through pain, who have not gone through sufferings. Though the film apparently appears to be something which is very critical against institutions like police, justice system, caste system, what we see is the empowerment of women right from the beginning, and we see this pregnant woman and the little girl traveling throughout this whole film, and when the little one, the climax scene, sits on par with Surya with crossed leg and taking the newspaper and starts reading with that certain amount of dignified gesture, anyone with certain amount of humanness will shed tears. And we see this women empowerment as something that, as a motive that runs throughout the film. And we also see how Manikandan, Raja Kannu, he never wanted his wife to work and he wanted his little daughter to study. The way women are portrayed, they really want the empowerment of women. And the climax is when we have the credits, we see the producers Jyotika and Surya. It's very heartening to see not Surya and Jyotika, rather it is Jyotika and Surya, empowerment even seen over there. Are there no flaws? Is everything perfect? You cannot say that. Any creative venture will have its strength as well as its weakness. If we see in this film, there are also few areas which are quite weak, in the sense Chandru, played by Surya, is always having an edge over the others. It appears as if the whole High Court is backing him up. So sometimes we feel every time he's going to win, a kind of he appears to be savior for everyone. And Rajisha Vijayan, the teacher, kind of looks like somebody who's odd in the whole frame, because she appears to be more of a heroine than a teacher, not being relatable to the people of the tribe. So could have been some other face, or little more on makeup could have actually made it much more realistic. So things of this sort are also there in the film. But now these are all flaws, but when we look at the film holistically, these flaws become very insignificant. A lot more is happening in the world. Just because we're not aware of it, it does not mean everything is fine out there. People, especially the downtrodden people, do suffer a lot. And one beautiful thing about the film is they've been shown in a beautiful light. From the shot one, the little girl feeding the birds, and how they are so caring towards nature, very altruistic. Even if my enemies come to me in danger, we will help. That is a kind of a mentality, highly dignified the way they are portrayed, and people who stand for truth and morality. But dear friends, there are lots of problems happening out there, and the film has revealed to us only tip of the iceberg. And if only so many filmmakers, so many production houses can come together and make a film like Jai Bhim, the world will become a better place.